Oh, you're gonna go this way?
If your girls are hot, I could crack a window.
You want me to come over here?
Can we hide this?
What?
How what? Oh yeah, I'm hot.
Like comfy. Like I should be comfy. Or am I supposed to be like professional?
Thanks for joining us for the first episode of Ladies That Wine. I'm here with my ladies.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about dating and relationships.
I'm here for it.
Right. All right, so since they don't know us, how many of you guys are married? Only one.
Only one.
All right. All right.
7 years.
All right, black love.
All right. How many are dating? Okay. And who's single?
We got an engaged one over here.
And who's
That's
engaged?
dating. That's
And who's in a relationship?
That's also dating.
No, I'm not dating him. That's my life partner. Her name.
I hope you still date though.
No.
I hope you still treat each other like boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, and all those
we still
things.
date.
That's what I mean. Like it's great.
Yeah,
Listen, and we'll talk about this clearly
Yeah.
because
Yes.
we all have different opinions about
Yes, we do.
Well, let's go into that now.
Okay, go for it, girl.
You still have to get dressed up and go on a date and treat it like
Like he's your boo.
All right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you know what? She's always fabulous.
It is always fabulous. So how do you keep your relationship fresh?
I don't know if it's like fresh because like, you know, we're 7 years, but we still like treat each other very well. I still make sure I look good for him. We still make time for us like outside the kids. Like that's important, like to like have time alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how long have you been with your boo?
It'll be 9 years on December the 3rd.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, that's my life partner.
Now, what do you mean by life partner?
I just feel like we're gonna be together for the rest of our lives.
That's sweet.
Okay. Now, do you want to get married?
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We still gonna be together.
I think that's a great definition of a life partner. This commitment that you guys have to make in front of other people. You already have that commitment with him.
Yeah.
Kind of in a way. Is that what you're saying?
People ask us all the time, when y'all gonna get married? When y'all gonna get married? But the thing about it is, it's a lot of people that I know that have been with their mate for a certain amount of time and then they just get married. I'm like, well, what's the difference? And they're like, nothing. For us, we could get married tomorrow. We can go downtown and we can get married. It's still going to be the same thing. Like, I know Malik. Malik knows me. Like, he has good ways. I have good ways. He has bad ways. I have bad ways as well. So it's not so much about getting married. It's more so about the trust and the commitment. We're committed to each other. I trust him and he trusts me. So that works for me. That may not work for everyone else. But it works for me and it works for him.
A lot of people nowadays like identify like that. Like I talk to some of my friends and they identify that way. You know, looking at where 2019 or 2020. A lot of women are like, I don't have to be married.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being with my person for the rest of my life without that commitment.
Well, it's still a commitment, and that's
Right.
the thing.
Right.
I think that
You're right.
people have decided, and whether that's what you want to do or you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because society or your family or whatever situation it is, it's like, oh, I need to be married because there needs to be a next stage and a next step in our relationship. But if you're committed to each other and you can be together forever, like, it just depends on what you're into. Either you want to get married because of whatever, or you don't want to get married and you can still build together and you can be life partners or you can date or be boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever title works for your situation. And that's the thing, like we don't need to judge. Like I understand that everybody needs to have a title, right? Because you need to introduce somebody as something.
Right.
But whether it's your husband or your partner or your boyfriend or you're dating, if you love somebody and respect somebody, then if it works for you, then it works for you.
Like I still value the sacrament of marriage.
Yeah.
And I still like hold it high, and I like see older couples who have been married for 50, 40 years, and I'm like in awe, like I hope that that's me one day, and I'm hope that I can tell my son like that I set a good example for him and that he wants to get married. So like I'm very good with like the dating and life partner thing, but I do think that like marriage should be like held like a little higher. We should all like not strive to be married, but we should still like value like.
But see, you said sacrament, right? That's
Yes.
a religious
It's
thing.
a religion thing. It is a religion thing.
That is a religious thing, and I
is,
think
yeah.
that is what the difference is too. So if you're not a Catholic, or if you're not like, Muslims marry in their own church with their, their mosque or whatever, and it might not be recognized by legally or like the church in the state of, the government or whatever that is. That doesn't make you less married, right? Or it doesn't. So that's what I mean. So that is your standard, that's your practice, that's your religion, and we just have to be careful and be conscious that like that is different for everybody.
It is, but it's just like the gays who fought so hard so that they can have like a recognizable marriage. So I just think like we still should.
And it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
It's
I
personal.
value it. I go to about 4 weddings a year. I love it.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
It doesn't mean when I'm on the car, I'm like, babe, when are we gonna get married? We gotta hurry up and do this.
Yeah.
That we have a good time and we go back to our normal routine. We go back to our normal lives. And I'm all for marriage, but for me, it's whatever fits for you.
Yes.
I just feel like me personally, a lot of people get pressured into being married. A lot of people get pressured into being in these, relationships where we gotta do this, no. I'm going to do what I want to do. Forget what society says, because at the end of the day, you have to be happy. And there are a lot of couples out here that are married that are not happy.
That's true. That is true.
That is very true.
That's
I also feel like I don't think like our relationship changed once we got married. We were still the same people. We just got married. Like I still feel like the way I felt before we got married.
Sure.
Yeah.
I agree with Siobhan. Everyone's like, okay, so you're excited about your wedding, getting married. I don't care about the show. I care about the relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the show. I could care. I mean,
Because it's not even a whole day.
it's a show.
It's real.
I have a relationship. I don't want the show. I want the relationship.
Yeah.
And that's just how I felt.
Because people can have a stunning show. And behind closed doors, you can Tyler Perry your ass and beat you and all types of things. That's what happens.
Don't be a Tyler Perry there. Don't do that to Tyler Perry. Don't do that to Tyler Perry.
Did you go see the studio?
Don't do that to Tyler Perry.
I love Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
You just burned it out. People always talk about soulmates.
Oh yeah, that's me. Always talk.
This is a soulmate girl
But
right
certain
here.
people talk about soulmates, and I don't know the definition of soulmate because I would say Siobhan or seeing your pictures and like
I
following
don't think James is my soulmate.
But certain people you would think that
They're connected.
I don't think that I came across like my soulmate. So I'm like,
For me, what's the definition of
We
soulmate?
talked
All
about
right,
the
so to
soulmate
me,
thing.
a soulmate is somebody that when you see them, you're instantly connected to them. Like, you feel like you've known them your entire life. It just clicks. You don't have to try.
You have to do.
You don't have to do.
It exists before you.
It just exists before you. Like, you two were put on this earth to be together. Like, you could have been separated for 20 years, but somehow you still find each other again.
It's like this magnetic
Like if you're
field
like
you
a
have
magnetic
with
field,
this
like if you're
person.
reincarnated, you come back and still find this person.
So with that being said, do you feel like your man is your soulmate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I've known him for almost 12 years. I was friends with him. Like I met him through someone I went to high school with, one of my best friends that I went to college with. She went to high school with him. And I knew him. We were in the same friend circle for a while. Just like, it was never anything like that. We reconnected like a little over 2 years ago. And then I kid you not, like the moment I saw him again, and I think I saw him in a different light.
Yeah.
I grew up, I saw myself differently. I went through a lot of things over the last few years. And I saw him in a completely different view, a different light. And from that moment, I just knew. I was like, our second date, I think I was like, oh no, I'm gonna marry him. I want to be
On
married.
your second date?
Second date.
It was early on.
My soul is intertwined with his soul. Like that's how much we get each other on just a very basic level, but then also on this grandeur level.
Talk about this often because a soulmate doesn't necessarily have to be your partner in life either, right? So I think a soulmate can be someone you're soulfully connected with.
Yeah.
It can be a female, it can be a male, it can be whoever it is you're soulfully connected with. So I've felt that connection with a couple of women in my life that I'm like, we're gonna be friends for life because we are soulfully connected.
Absolutely.
And I know I am dating my soulmate. I am with my soulmate right now, but that he's just a soulmate. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be my partner for the rest of my life. And that's the thing. So it just depends on what's important to you. Is it a great partnership? Is it a soulful connection? Is it all of those things? So
I think that's key. What's important to you? You know, a lot of my friends were moving into the 40s. So everyone, if you don't have kids or you're not in a committed relationship, they're getting to that point where they're like, oh my God, what's happening?
What are you doing?
What am I going to do? And this, that, and the third. But I just feel like what's meant for you is meant for you.
Yes.
And I say that because I seen one of my close friends, and I'm like, everything that she wanted, it actually happened. But that was what God really wanted for her. That may not be for you. And so when we're younger, we think of relationships and we think of life very, very differently than we think of as an adult. We think of the marriage, the kids, the house, the garden, the white picket fence, and the white dog.
I didn't think of that. I never did.
I did.
I can take this to a religion thing. I feel like God already written his story about us. Like, so from second to second, minute to minute, we basically just living in his life. So we don't know where we're gonna actually be, but at a certain time, I'm 40. I have a daughter. I had a daughter at a young age. She graduated from college, but I expected to at least be married. This, that. No.
You had this picture of what you were going to do.
But it's not that a white picket fence. It was just that it's certain things in life that you actually
So can we just go back to the fact that you have a college age?
Botox what? Botox who?
We needed to revisit that.
Real short. No, but you do expect certain things in life, like.
Or you don't. What I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong if you don't. Or if you're like, maybe, or I don't know, and I'm not sure, and maybe I didn't want kids, and I just thought I was supposed to have kids because I was raised in a very this is what you do, right? You graduate from college, big move. You get married, big move. You have kids, you buy a house, you do all these things.
These are big move. You got.
This is what you're supposed to do, right?
You got the lifestyle. That's the lifestyle.
Right. And we've all grown up in those families and environments and suburbs and whatever that is, and so.
Or you didn't grow up in suburbs,
and you
aspired that's the life that you wanted, and that's how I feel. I didn't grow up in that area, in that era where you had the mother, the father, marriage, and all of that.
So then you thought that's what you
thought like that's what I wanted. But a light bulb clicked at 30, and I was like, I'm not having kids. Now Sharon has known me forever in that sense. I was like,
when you wanted a kid,
I wanted a kid. My daughter's name was going to be Madison.
She's gonna be Maddie. She wanted somebody college graduate and all of this stuff that she wanted.
And life changes, and that's okay. And that's what I'm saying. I think that sometimes we are meant, like, we feel guilty about these things that happen to us, like, oh, I'm so independent, and then I fell in love with my soulmate, and now I'm not, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I thought I was supposed to have a kid, or I wanted this white picket fence, and now I don't, and that's okay too. And those are those things that, like, whatever is supposed to happen at the time it's supposed to happen. Whether it's God, whether it's the universe, whether it's Allah, whatever your practice is or your spirit feels like, we should all be okay. And
I think that sometimes people have to be okay with what's going on in their lifestyle and be okay that not looking at your left or your right, or not looking at someone else's lifestyle. And one of the biggest things now we all know is social media. It's a big hype. It gets people really down into a point where their life is just really not going that way. But that's why I tell people, it's social media. Are we going to post that we having a fight? Are we going to post that somebody cheated on each other? No one's going to post that. On a day-to-day, you have peaks and valleys. I may not be married. I've been in a relationship going on 9 years. We've been living together 7 years. Peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. You love them, like them. You be like, God damn, why did you shave? And I just cleaned the bathroom. And all the hair on the floor.
But I think that it all goes back to us rejecting and avoiding societal norms. Like when I turned 30, I took a pilgrimage, I guess I could call it. I took a solo trip, and I learned a lot about myself.
Oh, you did do that.
And it was really eye-opening and really life-changing for me. I really decided. At first, I was going into a trip. I was really struggling with I'm single. All my friends are in relationships and married, and some people having kids. What am I doing wrong? Why is that not happening for me? So I took this trip, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go, and whatever it is that the universe, God has to show me, I feel like it's gonna happen on this trip. I'm gonna be that open. And I learned a lot about myself, and I experienced a whole lot of emotions there. And I decided in that trip that I would not be tied down or conform to societal norms. My life is looking the way it's supposed to because it's my life.
That's your life.
I remember when you took that trip. Tomorrow's life. It's not. I went to Paris and London by myself, and it was amazing. But my life is not supposed to look like your life. Or your life. Or yours. No, my life.
And I think that's the acceptance within the person. My life is my life, and you have to love whatever life God has in store for you. I think when you dwell on the past or when you dwell on other people, it really, really brings you down.
Yeah, I don't compare myself.
Because you're comparing yourself to the other person. You can.
And when I decided to stop comparing myself to other people and stop questioning why my life didn't look like everybody else's life, that's when doors started opening. That's when you met the
your soulmate.
That's when you met that
not even met, right? That's
we met.
We saw.
You saw him. But you met him though.
And that's when
he was always there.
You were open.
Exactly. My heart was open.
My heart
was open.
Yeah.
My mind was open. I wasn't trying to fit into this made man box that I created myself, that I put myself in. And it was detrimental to me that I created this box for myself in. And now I have this just big view of life that I can't imagine not having without him.
Right.
And I didn't, Kamara, all these could tell you, you asked me this 2.5 years ago, I wouldn't be saying any of this.
Yeah.
Completely different view. But I think it all starts with, stopping this idea that we have to look, our lives have to look a certain way because society or social media says it should. Or your age. Oh, this girl is doing this, that.
Or your friend.
Or your
friend is married and sacrament is very important to her.
That
she's
mean
one of our good friends. It doesn't mean that's my path or
I'm
that's
happy for
important
you.
to me in that way.
And I don't fault anyone for their
Yeah.
And Drusilla, one day you posted, remember when you prayed for exactly what you have right now?
Yeah.
And I feel that because, for me, I always, when I first met you girls, 15, 20 years ago, I first got to New York, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get married and have kids and stay home.
That's always been
It was always what I strive for.
Right.
But my life didn't take that path immediately. I was in New York, I was clubbing. When I met Babe, I had 6 guys. Not fucking them all, but I had 6 guys. I had a bunch of guys.
So that's
it
why
wasn't an immediate. So I also changed my life, and then dating the guys that I used to like, and then I didn't know what I was really looking for, and then here's Babe, and he's doing it. It's wow, this is what it's supposed to feel like.
But
that's
why you guys are perfect for each other, whether you're soulmates or not. That is a perfect situation. She is what I want, he is what I want. We met at the right time, and here we are.
And it's 10 years from what I thought my timeline would have been, but now everything that I have is what I've always wanted and pictured that it would be, and I can't imagine what it would be without.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Ladies who wine.
Ladies who wine.
It's water.